Welcome back to Monster Month. We all remember last year's, so, well, figured keep on the tradition. You know, we don't want to be behind on Halloween again, right? Anyways, I present to you the Monster Decepticon Fangry. Now, this is actually the release that was part of the Buzzworthy Bumblebee 4-pack. It was a 4-pack. It was the Worlds Collide. So, I figured, hey, it's a monster, it's a werewolf, it's a werewolf of sorts. Expecting for this to become a retool / repaint for the Universal Monsters. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Which neither of them I have. They've released Dracula and Frankenstein. So I'm hoping at some point they'll do the Wolfman. So, if you take a look, he does have articulation at his jaw. It is a little bit on the stiffer side. There you go. He's got silver teeth, green eyes, molded in fur. And I prefer to have him holding his blaster in this monster mode as almost like a bludgeon type weapon. Not to be confused with the bludgeon. I'll get to that eventually. So, articulation. Wings can flap as wings probably should in most cases. Can do a full 360 at the shoulder. And can do a full 360 at the bicep. It's about all you're going to get. The hand is on a hinge for its monster hand, because this is not the robot hand. Legs. There is a hinge, and there's articulation at the knee and at the foot. Is that a lot of articulation? Well, it's better than most. So, cool little thing about this is they actually have the headmaster throwback on there that would show its speed, strength, and intelligence. So, cool. Cool beans. Hashtag coolbeans.com. What is that website? I don't know. I made it up. So, yes, the colors really scream not a very nice guy. He doesn't seem like a very nice fella. And if you read the Marvel comics, you'd know the horrendous war crimes that this creature, this horrendous, horrible person has done. And it sounds like we might be at war, because a bunch of really loud planes just flew overhead. So hey, why not make this the last video? Yes. So, before, our impending doom takes place, yes. So back to the color scheme. It's very much of a updated version of his Generation 1 figure. They did do one for Titans Returns, which was not like this full-scale one. This one was one, but they did a Titan Master one as a smaller, essentially a smaller version of this figure. And if you're familiar with some of those Titan Return, Titan Master figures, of course it comes with a Titan Master. And from what I remember, it looked pretty good. It looked very close to the G1 styled head. So you could plug that in, turn Fangry into a weapon and or vehicle. And you could give it to deluxe class, or even a scout class figure and up. So yes, so since it's Monster Month, I decided to go with Fangry. I do have a couple other ones I'd like to do before the end of the month, and before the finale of Monster Month. And if you haven't already watched last year's, feel free to check it out. It's the Monster Month 2020 playlist. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do something that it's a little odd, but I'm going to open up some Pokemon cards. Now, since it's, of course, October spooky month, we're gonna do something at some point during the videos. We're gonna open up a Pokemon card pack. We got a Trick or Trade. There's 3 additional game cards in this, so let's see what we can get. Haven't done one of these for a while. I don't really do a lot of Pokemon stuff on the channel anymore. Alright. Hey. That's very convenient. We got a wolf thing, a ghost thing, and a ghost dog. I just think it's funny we got a Lycanroc and we're doing a werewolf transformer of sorts. Okay, so now on to his robot mode. And actually, before we do that, let me show you. So he's a Titan Master or Headmaster, whichever one you prefer calling him. This is how you get to it. You want to rip his head off. There's this little bit right there that pulls up. That opens up, and there's where his Titan Master is. He can also be attached up here, but those pegs are not very reliable, and I don't trust them very much. So yes, on to his robot mode. Alright, so here he is in his robot mode, but get your head in the game. Here we have his Headmaster, the silver mouth plate, some purple pinkish paint on the top of his head, black plastic, the same color of purple pink that the main body is, and black, and halo, monster face. So, well, let's go ahead, plug him right in, head on. Do, 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 do. Alright, so here he is in his complete robot mode. And as you notice, I have him holding his weapon properly as a gun, because something about, terrifying werewolf dragon creatures, I don't think you really need a gun. You got teeth and you got monstrous strength, but then again, so does a robot, So, yes, articulation is slightly altered in this mode. Same articulation with the arms, but you can move the diaper flap. And you got articulation. There is a mushroom peg right there. So you can move him at his thigh and knee. And you got some ankle tilt just because of the transformation aspect. I do like how he looks in his robot mode. I do like the fact that they did a little bit better with the deco on this one. Mainly just for the fact the chest with the Headmaster stats. I think that this looks really cool, even more so in his robot mode. The blaster, it's a blaster. There's not a lot more to say about the weapon. You got, Decepticon insignia right there. Some metallic blue on the knee. And pretty much just the same arms. It's just they're kind of flipped around. And he does have his robot hands out. And you can see his monster hands back there. But we don't look at that. Oh, speaking of looking at, there's the back. He has probably the most wonky backpack on most Transformers, but considering he turns into a giant wolf, a winged wolf monster, I'm okay with that. I'm alright with that. Speaking of things I can criticize, I think he's fallen victim to some mold degradation issues because he came out of the box as loose as he is. Loose as a goose. So he doesn't really like to stand up very well. He doesn't stand up for himself, considering he's a giant robotic monster winged wolf thing. He has a hard time standing. You have to get certain points where there's a little bit of tension on the joints for his legs, and you can eventually get him standing. So, and then just because it's Monster Month, I want to show you guys something I came up with. Kind of just turned him into a robot wolf hybrid thing. I don't know. It's kind of like an in-between mode between the winged wolf and the robot mode. I don't know. I was goofing around with it and was like, oh, hey, look. It's a thing you can do with it if you'd like. Alright, so there is the review for Fangry. If you like this video, please leave a like. Most importantly, leave a comment. I'm very responsive to comments. I'm very interested and intrigued to know what you thought about this review. Also, check me out on my Instagram. You can check me out on there. You can check me out at The Mighty Beastman, and on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it now, Beastman Review. And most importantly, of going out there, check out the business. Check out the business. You can check out Planet Toys. You can check them out at www.planettoysutah.com. There we go. Hibben, Lichen Rock, and chill. Make it look like it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh kind of thing. I summon Fangry in attack mode, Kaiba. Anyways, thanks for watching Monster Month. Tune in for more horrendous creatures that have committed horrible crimes against humanity. Remember, keep on rocking in the free world, and grr, yarg. So yeah, cool. And I just smacked good old Wolfman.